Hi, you guys. Welcome back. My name is Carrie Penny. For the month of Spooktober, I am the happy, creepy homemaker. And happy Halloween! Unfortunately, we're due to get some thunderstorms. I don't know if we're actually going to get them or not. So our neighborhood is talking about postponing trick-or-treating till tomorrow or participate both nights if you want to. I don't know what's going to happen. My light will be on tonight and I will be watching some old scary movies tonight. Regardless of how that happens. Finally have a chance to wear my witchly sweater and my jack-o'-lantern earrings and my orange spiderweb headband. Tonight I'll probably actually wear my skeleton leggings. Anyway, welcome to show and tell number 42, I think. We're going to do something a little bit different today. I do have a couple things to show you real fast, but most of today is going to be me sitting here just talking to you guys and answering some of the questions that you have asked me recently. So, number one, I did get a finished object done. This is the Chevy pull-through scarf by Pamela Grease, and I use the Woolies Thick and Quick in Cranberry. I have not woven in my ends yet because I still keep forgetting to take my needles upstairs. But it's just a little neck warmer. This is something, actually, when I was making it and trying it on, I was thinking Debbie, the Canadian crocheter, would actually really like this pattern for something you can just kind of snug up and when you come in, loosen it up just a little bit. I know she likes things really close around her neck. Oh, goodness sakes, I just got the stuck in my earring. You guys. And this is why I can't have nice things. Yeah. So tonight we're having mummy dogs for dinner. I got those made. And for dessert, we're going to have crescent rolls stuffed with Milky Way candy bars. Yummy, yummy, yummy. We have 8 bowls of treats upstairs. We have one that is fruity candy, one that has like little blind bags and coloring kits and stuff like that. And then the rest of them are all like chocolate candies. The other thing I wanted to show you guys real quick is I got a new project bag from Christy Cook over at Teadoddles. This is one of her maker bags. And I absolutely could not say no to this fabric print. As it might be a little bit easier if I show you guys this away. But how cute is that? I'm so excited. So when I started my YouTube channel, the 10 non-crafty things about me tag was going around. But there are a lot of things over the last year, 13, 14 months, I have not mentioned on my channel unless I've mentioned them briefly in passing. So in honor of my favorite holiday, I figured I'd help you guys get to know me a little bit better as a crafter and as a non-crafter. One of my beautiful commenters said they didn't think anything about me was spooky. Well, I really, really, really love spooky Halloween. It is hilarious. I don't look like your typical goth anymore, but I did kind of go through a goth phase when I was a teenager. And my mom was actually commenting the other day about how glad she is that I grew out of that. And it's like, but just because I don't dress that way doesn't necessarily mean I don't still have elements of those things in my life still. I love the ephemera. I love the art and architecture and interest of things that we perceive to be more Halloween and spooky and creepy. And I watch horror movies year round. It's my favorite genre of movie. I do like paranormal in particular. I'm not a huge slasher fan. However, I do watch Halloween, the original, every Halloween night after the kids are done trick-or-treating. So sometime between like 9 and 10, we tend to shut our lights off and wind down once most of the candy is gone. Well, sorry about that. I just kicked the chair y'all are sitting on. And we curl up and watch Halloween and eat our mummy dogs and leftover candy. So I've had a couple of people ask, How long have I been knitting and crocheting? Well, I have been crocheting now for 31 years. My grandmother taught me when I was about 5, and she did it in hopes that I would shut up and sit down and be quiet somewhere. Unfortunately, I very quickly learned how to crochet and talk at the same time. Sorry, the back of my head is very shallow, so headbands do not stay on the back of my head very well, so my headband's slipping off, and it was getting ready to go like swing behind me. Somebody else recently asked, how long have I been collecting yarn? Which is kind of appropriate since I got my bookcases full of my cake yarn done yesterday. I have been collecting yarn now for about 12 years. But I have had 3 huge groups acquired at one time. One was one of the last Spin Right clearance events. Back when they would still ship to the US, and it was a big online tent sale. I purchased so much yarn, and I mean, just everything imaginable. There are lines that have, of course, been discontinued that were part of that. I got the Burnout Sheepish as part of that. I got my bulk collection of it at that time. I had purchased them on clearance for 75 cents a ball at Joann's. When I did the Spin Right clearance sale about 4 years ago, I got it for about 25 cents a ball. So these are the types of discounts and sales we're talking about. I do not stock up unless it's more than 50% off. I do a minor stash up if there's a more than 35 or 40% off sale of something I use every day or very regularly. I will purchase a whole bunch. All these mandalas and cupcakes you see here were $1 each. These are the ones that I got in the cases that I split with my friends. So there's 10 of each color down here. These are actually mandalas up here, and I got those all for $1 a ball, except for those 2 and the 3 in this colorway. And those were all gifted to me. So, I mean, I really haven't been hoarding yarn for that long, and I don't normally purchase in these, if you look at my production and you look at my stash, you would think like I'm every week going out buying like $300 worth of yarn, or every month buying $300 worth of yarn. Very frequently, there are large events during the year where things are about 75% off clearance. Different manufacturers do them at different times, and those are the sales I tend to hit, and I hit those really, really hard if they're lines that I like. I got a lot of the Candy Shop for around $1.25 a ball between the sale they ran, plus they had a coupon that was available on top of the sale. I've gotten some really nice gifts over the last year that are above and beyond. I still have not put my Premier Basics gift up, but that's a huge, that's 2 full cubes on my big yarn wall over there, full of that yarn specifically. The Vanna's Choice Glamour, as I was putting it up, I looked at some of the price codes or price tags on them, clearance tags. I got some of those as little as 50 cents a ball at Joann's. I've hit some of the Hobby Lobby sales, things like that. So I've had mass increases to my stash in these bursts like that. I was getting, through the Spin Right sales in some cases, the Karen 1-pound balls. I was getting those for as little as $2 a pound. So, hello, Curzon. It's a lot, and it's not a lot at the same time. I own a lot of yarn, and it has been overwhelming, like actually getting everything out and organized and seeing all of it together. But none of it was, I mean, like a bunch of my Vanna's Choice, even as much as I love that yarn, I normally buy that by project when it's on sale. I bought a whole bunch of it back in the spring on clearance for 75 cents a ball. Why are you biting my foot? I must have stepped in some, I must have stepped in some catnip. He is literally rolling around, biting my foot and bunting my foot. I had somebody ask me what is actually my favorite kind of yarn. I don't have necessarily a favorite brand or even necessarily a style or weight. I work a lot in worsted weight. Okay, why are you biting me? Why? Curzon. What are you doing? I'm sorry, you guys, if I thought I could get this rotated fast enough and actually catch it. That tickles. He almost, like, he's an older cat. He's 7 years old. He normally doesn't play like that. So he is like, it's really weird to see him playing all aggressively and stuff. I literally must have stepped in some catnip or something. But I do really like natural fiber, acrylic or nylon blends. I like a lot of the wool nylon blends. I like the cotton acrylic blends I've discovered. There's a cotton nylon blend that I worked a little bit with not too long ago. That was really nice to work with. I wonder if he got into the middle of the ball Becky made. Because I pulled my foot away from him and now he's rolling around back and forth. And this isn't the playful kitty. No, he's not. Curzon's not the playful one. He's just a snuggle muffin. Yes, he is. They're doing very well transitioning into the new house. The last week in particular, Curzon spent a lot more time out in public, sleeping in the floor, especially while I've been working downstairs. There's been a lot of taking a break, snuggling the cats. Y'all ask about my cats a lot. Both of them are shelter cats. I had a beautiful tuxedo cat for many, many years named Eddie. And when he passed away, it was very, very sudden. And I was trying to fill the void as quick as possible because, I mean, I'm at home 90% of the time. And he got the arch of my foot. You know, I needed something. I needed somebody there with me. So I went to the shelter, the ASPCA shelter in Columbia, and met this itty bitty little, I mean, he literally fit in the palm of my hand. He was so tiny, 6-week-old kitten. They had him called Resilient Rogue. Oh, it looks like my husband's home now. And literally, like, I had picked up, petted, paid attention to like about 30 cats at that point, kittens and cats. And nobody just really seemed to want me. When I got to him, literally Curzon would not let me put him down. He sat there like curled up on my chest and in the palm of my hand. It was so funny. The little shelter tags, like it was bigger than his entire chest. I mean, it was like down to his wrist, on his arms when he would stand there. It literally, if I can find a picture, I'll insert one up here. Cutest thing ever. And then now almost 2 years ago, we went to Mass Christmas Eve morning, and it was Sunday morning. We left Mass. We were going to go get Curzon a perch for Christmas and a new collar and some special food treats. He doesn't like wet food. He likes to lick the gravy off of wet food, and the PetSmart generally has like the little tin that's just the gravy. And I went walking down one of the aisles, and this little orange cat just literally flipped over on his back and started patting at the thing, trying to get my attention. And like immediately, Troy and I were transfixed with this little kitten. So that's how we ended up with our cats. Curzon spent Christmas Eve or afternoon like hissing and spitting at Pippin, and Pippin's like, I don't want to take over. And then like 4 days later, Pippin had totally taken over. Curzon is more or less a pacifist. He does want to play on occasion, but not that much. Pippin will run him off of anything. Snuggles, foods, treats, anything. It doesn't matter. And Curzon's like, I'll just wait. It's cute. It's cute. I get my snuggles. It's cute. Why did I learn how to knit is a common question I've gotten recently. I really liked the difference in the fabrics you could make between knitting and crocheting. I didn't have like a specific, a lot of people want to learn how to knit so they can make socks that are more like manufactured socks. For me, there wasn't like a specific project. If anything, I actually wanted to make finer gauge sweaters. Even when I was skinny, I was not a very petite body frame. So very chunky fabrics tend to make me look much larger than I actually am. So being able to make a finer fabric and a thinner, more drapable fabric with knitting was one of the things that I really wanted to learn how to do. They are so distracting. Now he's over here like cleaning his hand, but he keeps flexing his very long fingernails as he's doing it. It's so weird. Troy's walking around upstairs and he's like, every time you hear a footstep, Curzon's claws. Beautiful. So yeah, I didn't learn how to knit for any specific reason or anything like that. It was literally just because it was a combination of things. There are things you can do with knitting you can't really do with crochet. Just like there are things with crochet you can't really achieve by being a knitter only. And I also really love a lot of the garments where you had the knitted body pieces, but with the crochet detail. So I really, when I first learned, my intention was more of a mix and match kind of thing. However, it evolved and changed. And I actually, up until the last, once I got the hang of knitting and really knitted a lot, I really didn't crochet that much for about 5 years. Most of what I did was actually knitting. But as time has gone on, I've, balanced out a little bit more. The last year I've done more crochet than I have knitting, which no particular reason, just that's the way it's gone. I'm trying to think because of course, I'm sorry, you guys, if you haven't heard me ever say it before on here, I'm blonde brain deep. I left my notebook upstairs. I even left my drink upstairs. There was another really good question the other day, and I can't remember what it was. It had to do with my crafting, like, repertoire. I've shown paper crafting and some like stitch marker beading and things like that on here before. I haven't sewn much for the last year and a half, 2.5 years, just because I never could get that last craft room set up right to be able to do more than one thing. I'm hoping when I get a desk in here finally, I'll be able to really streamline how I'm using my desk surface, especially now that I have vertical storage. I can add bookcases in as I need them if I need to move things around a little bit to give me that extra storage space that's not taking up floor space. And I can also do things to increase my space usage right at my desk area instead of having to have everything in these drastic different points of the room. I've never done macrame. That's one of the things eventually I'd like to try. I've considered getting the kits off of Annie's. They've got some like just one-off project kits. And I was like, maybe. Oh shoot. I wish I'd brought my notebook down because I started making a list of them about 4 weeks ago of some of the questions you guys asked. My yarn, just because of Instagram and where I've been sharing my videos and stuff, just for the record, my yarn is sorted by weight or style. All my cake yarns are here, And I did kind of more or less try to keep it, size 3, which is what most of them are, or size 4. But, that didn't quite work out. There's some cupcake behind me here. The Crayolas fit in perfect here, so it's a little... But yeah, everything in the wall, it literally goes size 2 to size 6 across the cube style wall, with the exception of the 1-pound balls that are overhead. You guys asked how long I've been married. I've been married for almost 16 years now. Troy and I've been together. Sorry, he's doing the I'm getting ready to sleep stretch out thing. And he keeps trying to make eye contact with me. Marriage is a great institution. I highly recommend it if you're ready to be institutionalized. Yeah, I mean, things like we're doing the stash down project where we're not buying yarn. And if we do buy yarn, with the exception of first, okay, so like if you're working with working in a project, you run out of yarn, you have to ask for a trade first. See if anybody else has it and is willing to trade it to you. If you can't find it as a trade, you can purchase it. If you purchase something that is not part of finishing a project you already have started, so not like future projects, but have already started, then you have to give away an equal amount of yarn. And each of us have chosen one event a year. So basically one day a year for next year when we can buy yarn. Becky at Funny Farm Crochet and I are planning on using the premiere sale as when we do it. Carla over at Crochet CJ, and I think it's the Wendy Lady, have said that they want to do Hobby Lobby's clearance event. Karen over at Hippie Fibers has not said which one she wants to do, so I'm interested to see what she does. But yeah, like he thinks things like that are just stupid. If it brings you joy, why deprive yourself of joy? He 100% supports my crafting habit. Now, he does not understand why anybody would make a pair of socks or make a hat when you can readily buy them inexpensively, but that doesn't mean he doesn't appreciate them or understand why people enjoy making. Does that make sense? Actually, I think he just came down the stairs. So anyway, I next time I sit down to do one of these, I will make sure that Kristen's like freaking out like he doesn't know who my husband is. So Troy must be wearing a mask or have a hat on. We're going with has a mask. Say happy Halloween. And this is why marriage works. Anyway, I will try to make sure that I bring my book down next time I try to do some of these answering your question things. And before I sign off today, I do want to mention to you guys, I on here showed where I had made blocks for a Veterans Appreciation blanket. You're terrifying Curzon, honey. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sorry, you guys. As many of you know, I was working on a project with my friends that was a Veterans Appreciation project. I will put a picture here of the blanket. It was completed and sewn together by Karen over at KB Fibers. And our friend Sandra Tester is the one who is running the auction. Now, all cash proceeds for this auction are going to her local veterans hospital. There, in the future, will be other things that we do like this that will be donated and distributed in different fashions, probably one to each Associated Persons, VA hospital, or organization of choice, but this time it is going to Sandra's local VA hospital. Her contact information is sandratester@ymail.com. I will have that down below. She is requesting that all donations for entrance to win this blanket are a $5 donation is what she's asking for this. The drawing is on Veterans Day. She will announce who the winner is and contact them directly. I know Karen over at KB Fibers has already mentioned this in her live. I'm mentioning it here. As soon as the winner is announced, we will also try to coordinate and make sure that we mention something on our channels as well. If it is one of our subscribers that we already have contact with. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. If you are ready to donate and want to get in touch with Sandra directly, please get in touch with Sandra. I know she's capable of taking checks. PayPal makes it easy though. So she can tell you what to do, what the rules are. I just worked on making the blanket. That was my goal. But yeah, so enter for a chance to win the blanket and support a wonderful cause. Many of us I know have family members and friends who have served in the military, and it's always a wonderful opportunity to be able to give something back to the men and women who have served, and many of whom in the VA hospital system are alone. So those little things like being able to get a fresh tube of toothpaste when you're there, just saying, it's quite nice. I am married to a veteran, so it is something that is very near and dear to my heart as well. Sandra herself is a veteran. So once again, Sandra Tester is the one who's running our auction for us. She also participated in making the blanket. To enter for a chance to win the blanket, please contact Sandra Tester at sandratester@ymail.com. That will be down below so you can get in touch with her directly. If you have any questions you would like answered, as these kind of filler videos pop in here and there, because I did move and we're about to have to start thinking about Christmas. I don't know how much knitting and crocheting I can fill in with. Showing you one project does not get me very far. And not buying yarn means I don't even have other acquisitions to show you. So if there's anything about me you would like to know, or anything you would like to hear me talk about my crafting experiences, my preferences, things like that, I'd be more than happy to answer those questions for you. Also, stay tuned. In November, I will be running a giveaway that is very, very special, and I am super excited. And it's one of the things that will involve my cupcake yarn. So we do have a lot of wonderful things coming up in the next couple of months leading up to Christmas and the New Year. So stay tuned. Please, guys, if you're interested in winning the blanket, contact either me or Sandra Tester, and we will get you entered in for that. Until next time, you guys, take care. I love you guys, and I hope to see you guys real soon. Goodbye. So I forgot to tell you guys, I would also add a clip of where my progress is on the craft room. I did find those hidden in a box where they shouldn't be, so I'm going to have to redo those 3 cubes. That it'll get bumped up there. Ooh, look. They're actually blue. Oh, there you go. They're really pretty in person. I started ferrying my craft books in here. I have 2 short bookcases that will go here under the window. I do have some giblets hanging out there. Little bits and pieces. You can see where I was just sitting to film. Got my cakes all up. I still got to figure out how to better do the Karen, or just use them up. So all my IKEA has been put together. I got this out and done this week. Coming from this side, it doesn't look like there's been much progress made. However, you can fully get through everything now on this side. Oh, I just dropped out the knit picks. That's part of my Happy Halloween stuff. Those will go up here in the next day or two. Most of this section will go up in one big group fairly quickly. Eee, how pretty. So I had a wonderful friend send me one of each color. So now I have 3 of each color. They're just so pretty together. Anyway, most of my project bags have kind of been moved out. This is all paper crafting. That'll be taken care of rather swiftly. Oh, y'all don't need to see my litter box. I'm going to get the IKEA desk that clips onto the cubes. And this will more or less be paper crafting with the ability to sew. Some progress is being made. Still got my fabric up, but I also have been, so those bottom shelves are going to be my holiday paper pads. And trust me, I have more than enough. But I've gotten a lot of these put up here. And I've got some, like, my notions and threads and serger cones will go in this short bookcase or narrow bookcase, corner bookcase there. And I have more than enough stuff to fill in here. This is where I've started getting my project bags together. So I'm not, this is not going to be the permanent home of those, but look at all that floor space that I have now. Kind of excited about that. As soon as I got floor space, I started painting, so kind of excited. I need to finish cleaning up around Lamley there. But yeah, I mean, a lot of progress was made this week. It doesn't feel as much as it should have been, but I've also had a lot of paperwork to do the last couple weeks. I'm really proud of how this turned out. I'm almost afraid to start working with it. And all those across the top are single color cakes. So I've got just a plain grape. Those are Style Crafts from Mary. That's Dotted Line from Lion Brand. That is a Karen cotton cake. Those are sweet rolls. That is a sugar wheel. 2 of the comfy cottons and a Ferris wheel. But yeah, I've got everything out. I thought I had more of the sweet rolls than I seem to have. I guess I had more of the candy shop. Sorry, I'm having a really hard time finding my hand in the camera. But yeah, I know I have a couple more that are going to have to go up. These are from Hobium. I used the purple one last year. It was really, really nice. I got this to make a sweater for springtime. It's funny. I know exactly what certain things are for, but time to make them. It's a whole nother story. Anyway, I'm going to go get my mummy dogs. I hope you guys have had a happy Halloween, and I will see you guys real soon. Love yous.